Hi, welcome to today's video where I am going to be showing you step by step how to draw leaves. I love using leaf motifs. I draw them all the time. They're perfect in my mandala orbs and I use them loads in my sketchbook as well. There's something really meditative about drawing just vines or this leaf motif. They're really easy to do. You can cut them out, use them to stick into your art journals. You could stick it into your bullet journal. But yeah, they're really fun, they're really pretty, and they're a great way to decorate your page. So let's dive in. So I'm going to be showing you step by step how to first of all draw just a plain motif. We've got some really simple ones here, simple vine leaves, just black and white, so using a black pen. Variations of it as well here, so that you can kind of add some different things into your drawings. And then I'm going to show you how to add colour, and this is when they really pop and they really become something a bit special. So first of all, you're going to need some paper or a sketchbook and just a fine line pen. So I've got two different pens. This one, both of them are fine liners, but this is a 0.3 and the other one is a brush pen. Now I love working with a brush pen because you can kind of vary the lines. So you can have thicker lines and thinner lines depending on how hard you press down. And I quite like that sort of illustrative, almost organic feel. They're also great for doing splodges or colouring in as well. So you can just kind of draw a lot quicker if you're going to draw something with a bit more bulk to it. Whereas these are really beautiful for getting detail. So these were drawn here with my fine line pen, and as you can see, it's a really uniform, neat, clean line. So we'll draw some to start with the fine line, and then we'll show you the brush pen. So the basic motif for my vines is to draw up like this and then draw back down again. So you're drawing a stem and you've got basically the two parallel lines and then the leaf shape at the top, and then you just come off the side with these leaf shapes. I try and give them a little stem to attach, and then I sort of keep them in a very similar place on the other side. I try and space them evenly down the stem, and that's the basic shape. So all of them are kind of made in the same way. Now there's different ways that you can decorate these. So you could draw a double line down the center, just like we did with the stem, and then draw some little vein lines off the outside. So if we do it again here, you could just do a certain section, so maybe just one side, or you could evenly space some veins all the way up your leaf, like so, and do it on the other side. This is where you can kind of make it your own. You could just leave it like that as well, so plain in the center. And these are quite nice for the smaller type leaves. So if you're just doing maybe something like this, can you see how I've not pointed the end of my leaves on this one? But I'm kind of going back over the stem, so it thickens up the stem. Really neat, simple, and really pretty and effective kind of leaf vine. And my favourite way to draw leaves is doing them quite big, actually. So do a nice big stem like this, and then draw the leaves off. I quite like it when they flow onto the next page. Draw my double parallel lines down the centre, and then draw the little veins on the top. So this is the technique I'm going to show you when we add the colour to the bottom. I'm now going to show you how I do these with my brush pen, and you'll see the difference and how kind of, in a way, more lifelike it looks. So let me show you that. So here's my brush pen. Now I'm just going to do a nice stroke up. That's our stem. I can do tiny little leaves that come off it like so. Really quick, really easy to do. Add one up there, and then I use the very end of the tip just to gently drag it up the center, and sometimes it creates like almost a dotted line, but this is a really quick and easy way to draw a vine motif. But you see it's much more bold, these are more kind of delicate, so again you can use this to your advantage. Also just going to show you how I like to colour them in as well. So this is another way, and it makes a nice bold silhouette shape. So again, we've just got our little leaf shapes, and I'm completely colouring them in. So you can see there, they're much more of a dramatic look. And I do find that when you use black and white, it creates such a deep contrast that it really draws the eye in. So you'll notice this sometimes if you're drawing or painting something and you've not got a black or a white in, the picture can seem quite flat, but once you add in black and white it can really make everything else pop. But interestingly, the black always seems to really stand out and draw your eye in, so yeah, you can use this to your advantage. So that's that motif. Again, I'm going to draw a long vine like this. This is our stem. And then just draw the leaf shapes off the top. Now you could keep going with this until you absolutely fill the page, and that's when it looks quite interesting. You can almost create a pattern with these. But I love using these in my mandala orbs and in my sketchbooks. They're a great way to fill space as well if you don't know what to put in a space, like in your art journal or your junk journal. So they're great for creating, if you're not really sure what to draw as well, they're great for adding in and drawing something pretty but quick as well. So you can't really go wrong with these. So this is my vine. And then what I like to do is add in the little vines like this, the little veins, adding in the veins. Something else that makes this pop is if I add in the imperfections. So if you look at a leaf that you find on the floor, you'll notice it's not perfect. It will have imperfections, maybe a crinkled edge, maybe there's a bit ripped off it, but usually there's these imperfections in the colour as well. And that's why I love to just do splodges and then dot. So I'm just dotting with my pen, and somehow this makes the leaf look much more interesting and kind of less uniform. So I just add in a few dots along the way. And again, you can add in veins. You don't need to do this on all of them. Maybe just do it up the side of some of them. And yeah, so let's take this into colour now and add some colour. Okay, so I've got a fresh page and I'm going to be using my Neocolor 2s. These are water-soluble crayons. I've also got some Inktense blocks in here. They're basically just kind of a solid form of paint. You scribble them down like a crayon and then you activate them using water. And I love carrying one of these around. These are great for a little travel kit. And I've got quite a nice fine tip on this water brush. So I just fill the chamber up here with water and I'll paint over the top. So first of all, we're going to do our vine shape. I'm just going to choose like greens, turquoises, and maybe this kind of mustardy ochre colour. And this is what I'm going to stick with. So not exactly very lifelike, but definitely will let you know, like but definitely your brain will think that it is a leaf. So I'm just really roughly going to draw out the leaf shapes of the vine like so. And I'm going to do the same here. Just colour them in. So I'm just colouring them in as I go and really kind of splodging it on. So I'm thinking about what this is going to look like when I activate the paint. So these are going to blend together and what sort of colours I want them to be. So I don't need to use every single colour on every single leaf. I'm going to put a bit of the ochre in here on some of these. And also I'm going to use the Inktense, my green Inktense block as well. So a little bit more of this kind of grassy, earthy green. There we go. And I'm going to do the same on the other page, and we're going to do a leaf shape like this. So this is kind of more like rounded leaves, so 3 rounded leaves on a stalk. So I'm just going to do the stalk up, then off, and do 1 balloon, 1 balloon, and 1 balloon there. So that's just the very basic shape. And then I'm just going to kind of roughly colour it in like I did a second ago. Doesn't really matter what the colours are, and as you can see, I'm not being precious with this, I'm not being neat with this, I'm just splodging the paint on, or the colour. So there we go. Now that's really quick and easy to do, but it looks kind of messy at the moment, so this is where the magic happens, and we're going to squeeze our little water brush pen, and in circular motions I'm just going to wet all of the drawings that we've just done to activate the paint and blend them together, and then fill out each shape. So you're never quite sure how this is going to end up until you do it, and this is the fun of it, that every single leaf that you paint is going to end up being different, and you can come up with your own combinations of colours and what you prefer. You could do some more autumnal colourways, you could add purples and reds in, that would be a really fun variation. Nice bright oranges as well for sort of pumpkin season. But yeah, you can absolutely make these your own, they don't need to be lifelike at all. And then once we've finished activating the water, we're going to let this dry like you would with any paint. You could also do this with watercolour, you could do this with gouache. Just use the supplies that you have, and that's what's going to make it your own. So we'll let this dry for now. Okay, now these have dried, I'm going to go in with my brush pen, because this is my favourite and I love the lines it creates. So not even along the edge, I'm not doing this neatly, just doing it rough like I did before, dragging it down. As you can see, it kind of bleeds off the edges. I'm just making the shape, and this is what makes them so fun. Each one looks really unique as well, so I'm just adding in basically the details. So I'm just going to add in the veins here along the edges, just like this. Add in a few dots and then some splodges as well. And this is what makes them look really interesting. And something that was actually quite messy before is now looking really, really nice. So it's all down to the details. They make such a difference. Okay, so you can see there how it's kind of transformed from what was quite messy to something really pretty. And this is just so fun, you can add this to anything. So let's do the same here with this one. So again, we're just going to do our plain outlines to start with. Quite quick, fast. I can do like almost like a shaky, kind of jaggedy edge at the top. Just like that. And these leaves are actually like bramble leaves. I found some on my walk the other day. And then I add in the vein there, and then the veins across each leaf. And it just transforms them once you add this detail. I'm going to add in our splotches. And there, what a difference that makes. And suddenly it comes alive. And there we have it. That's our tutorial of how to draw vine leaves. Such a fun and easy way to decorate or illustrate or add something interesting into your journal or your art journal, or just drawing in your sketchbook. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon for another one. Lots of love. Bye.